Yeah. Let's see how long it takes to get there.
Good morning, Tactical Inquiries viewers. This is Craig. I'm currently coming to you from our timeshare in Arkansas. Today we want to talk about the Sandman S. This is a suppressor that I've owned since July of 2020 now, and I quite enjoy it, and I want to talk about why you might want to consider it today. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. I've got a relatively short list of bullet points. We're going to hit on those. I have some shooting footage, and I think that'll cover everything we've got. So, my personal experiences, as I said, I've owned the suppressor since July of 2020. In that time, I've put about 8,000 rounds through it in rifles, probably about 6,000 5.56, both through a 14.5-inch barrel with a muzzle brake on it, and an 11.5-inch barrel with a flash hider on it. And then an additional 2,000 rounds of 308 through a 14-inch barrel with a brake on it. I really like this suppressor. What you get with the Sandman S, more than anything else, is flexibility, okay? You can shoot anything up to 300 Win Mag through this, and anything down to any centerfire rifle cartridge, I believe, is kosher, really, as long as it fits in the bore. A lot of 5.56, obviously. 5.45 would be fine. I shoot a lot of 308. I haven't shot any 300 blackout through mine, but I know some people who have. They like it. I've seen some pictures of some Navy SEALs who are also using these now on 300 blackout rifles, so I'm sure they do fine with that. Flexibility, as I said, really good. I think it's a great first suppressor. You don't have to worry about what caliber you're mounting it on. You just mount it on the rifle, check bore concentricity, and you go. In terms of durability, you have stellite baffles. Stellite baffles are very durable. They maintain their durability as they get hot and they're heated up. Suppressors get hot when you fire them. Typically heat weakens metal. In the case of the Sandman, it's not an issue. It's a very strong suppressor. For muzzle devices, you actually have a lot of choices. I have all dead air muzzle devices and they work great, but you can also get muzzle devices from Sons of Liberty Gunwork. They have a Nox that's very popular. There are also muzzle devices made by Ford Control Designs. I believe Lantac has one. JMac Industries makes a whole bunch of chemo muzzle devices. Those are all pretty good, I've heard. I had a friend with one of those on an LMT rifle that he liked. You're going to be set for muzzle devices. There is no shortage of muzzle devices out there that mount chemo. The chemo mounting system is also quite good. You're going to notice here, I'll try to get this in view of the camera. If you can see that there's a taper on the muzzle device. Behind that, carbon doesn't really get on any of the mounting surfaces. Everything in front of that taper, you'll find carbon on, but behind the taper, it's completely clean, and that's by design. I've never had one of these suppressors get stuck horribly, so badly that I needed a gunsmith's assistance. The worst I ever had it got stuck on this rifle at one point after about 1,000 rounds, hadn't taken it off. I needed a strap wrench to break it loose, but I don't think that's anything too crazy. That's a great tool to have around anyway. The other good thing about chemo, is you can get chemo adapters that are made for 1.375 by 24 threads that are on the rear of a lot of suppressors nowadays. We'll roll in some B footage of one of those at this point in time. That's a very pulpy lemonade. So, chemo mounting, great. Chemo muzzle devices, pretty great. Chemo mounting system, you can attach to other cans that have the 1.375 by 24 threads on the back. Also great. I'm waiting on another suppressor right now to do that with. I really like chemo. It's a great mounting system. You don't have to shoot it off the end of the rifle if it gets stuck, because it won't get stuck that badly. The Sandman S does have, at least in my experience, one pretty significant downside though. It doesn't do great with flash suppression with the factory end cap. Dead Air makes flash hider end caps, and these look really great. I have never had an issue with these. The non-flash hider end cap, which is what comes by default from the factory, is not so great on flash suppression. I'm not sure why they even bother making this one. I'm not a fan. It's the Achilles heel to this can. I have a .308 caliber flash hider end cap and a .556 caliber flash hider end cap. They both work pretty great. Nowadays, I just leave the .308 caliber one on because I put it on the MWS a lot. But if you want a little bit of extra and you're shooting on .556 or .545, absolutely nothing wrong with throwing this flash hider on there. I'll get a close-up of those in a moment. So, flash suppression, obviously need the flash hider end cap. I think that's the one failing in the design of this can. IR signature is pretty good though. Now don't get me wrong, I've gotten this thing red hot to the naked eye, but it's pretty good for the first magazine or two. I'd say it's pretty comparable to a Surefire RC2 in terms of our IR signature. You're not going to light up like a Christmas tree from a couple of shots with this under night vision. I'm a fan. Already touched on the end caps. I have my bullet points a little bit out of order here. The last part I wanted to talk about was the warranty. Dead Air, a while back, had a little bit of trouble with QC with these leaving the factory. They had to switch from the subcontractor that was producing these to another one because some bad cans left the factory. They rectified that with the people that own them, fixed them up, good to go. The new cans have all been good as far as I've heard. I've had a couple of friends send these in for maintenance. One friend, he was having trouble with the mounting system. He shot the can a lot. I mean, it was an old can for him. He'd probably had it for a few years at that point. Mounting system came loose and it was blasted. After a few shots, it would come loose and blast off the end of his Scar 17. Well, he sent it in a Dead Air on the warranty. They completely rebuilt the mounting system at the back end. They replaced all the baffles on the inside, and they Cerakoted it fresh so that it was ready to go. Can looked brand new when he got it back, and it's been great, good to go ever since. And I believe they did that all for him for free. So when you're buying a Dead Air can, you're buying something that people are going to stand behind. Dead Air, pretty good people. Mike Pappas is the ringleader of the whole operation, and he seems like a pretty genuine, down-to-earth guy. You've probably found him on social media. Just wanted to go over really quickly. Here's the factory 7.62 end cap. Here is the flash hider 5.56 end cap. And here is the flash hider 7.62 end cap. I 100% recommend getting a flash hider end cap for these. Absolutely critical. And here is a chemo adapter for the 1.375 by 24 rear threads found on a lot of modern suppressors. Great way to get a can onto the chemo mounting system if you want to stay in that ecosystem. I would highly recommend it. Wanted to show you real quick here for the mounting. And this might be tricky. I don't know if the autofocus is quite there right now. But on the suppressor, rotate it around, you're going to see a little notch right there on the mount. That correlates with the notch on top of the muzzle device. There's 3 notches, and they are asymmetrical. So that top notch is always going to go under the top notch. So, mounting this is simple. Slide it on, find the notch, seat it, and take it tight. That is now on there. I've never had one come off or come loose. and it'll come off again when you're done shooting. So, great system. I'm a fan. If you want a suppressor that can do everything, the answer is obvious. Become a sand chad.